You are looking at SPY on the 5-minute time frame. Here are your price targets for Friday. We ended the day at 604.33, down 0.52%. To the north side from where we are takes us to VWAP at 605.67. Above that, back at the middle of the trend, roughly at 606.65, a gap closes to the upside at 607.28. Another level of resistance takes us to 609.24. Another take profit area at 610.51. And should we be so lucky as to get to this level, but don't hold your breath, 611.82. To the south side takes us to -2 standard deviations, very close to where we currently are at 604.12. Below that, 602.87. This gap closes out at 602.68, and -4 standard deviations and another level of support and a potential buy-in area and a potential stop loss depending upon what side of the line you bought. So that again is roughly 601.54-ish. And looking left, you can see the bump up at support, another level of support, the buy in here at support, 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 and now we are here. If we are up here and we go down, this line turns into support. So I will anticipate, right now the RSI is still going down, so we could go a little further, flush out to the downside, maybe even wick and then ride back up because we are at one level of support. And then note the sell-off, resistance, resistance, along here, resistance, here, here, here. Your spidey senses should be going off anytime we hit this area, and this upper band. That is resistance, and you can expect a sell-off as people take their profits and they run. They will lock in and they will leave. And then the process happens all over again to the upside. But it's been a while since I've tracked this, so I want to clean this up, and that is why I am looking at SPY. So we had a gap up here. This one closed to the downside, no longer a threat to our account. That took us down to 606.76 from up here. And this one, make that a little bit bigger. Did it touch? Yeah, it kissed it. That's good enough. So we gapped up. Then at some point, I anticipate it to close out, and we did right here on the 9th, taking us down to 604.08, and then we bounced up to resistance and fell back down. I threw on VWAP today, but obviously you don't need it. But it just gives you more buy and sell signals within the linear. And that will take us down to roughly 598.81, but we are still in an upward channel on the 5. And that closed. What else do we have going on here? Okay. We had this gap that I was tracking. That took us all the way up to 593.04. No longer in play. I delete that. I delete the price labels. That way I know it's filled. And we've got this landmine to the south side, taking us down to 576.70. And then we have this one taking us down to, did I mark that out? No, but that will take us to roughly 562.06. Oh, when I looked at this chart at the end of the day on the 16th, price was at 503.53. That's the 5-minute. Let me just roll this over to the daily so you can see what's happening in the bigger picture. Option R. As you can see, I have tracked this many times. Where I'll take a look at this on the monthly so you can see this a little bit better. But right here, I'm going to give you some price targets. And so we're at 604.33. the middle of the trend basically, to the north side. Roughly 626.04, still in an upward channel on the daily, and to the south side because there's always a south side. And as you can see, VWAP does not work on the bigger time frame. That will take us to 581.60. That'll start to close out this gap. But we do not want any open gaps. That just comes back to haunt us. So that one I talked about. And that one's closed. And then we have other gaps to deal with, but we are not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. Just something to be aware of. Now on the weekly, the RSI just touched. Did it touch? Nope, it never touched here. Started to turn down already. And that was the same case for the RSI on the daily. So watch out for that. Anytime you see this overextended, all I do is use this as support and resistance. Bells and whistles should be going off. When you see it hit, crack this area, into this area, you know it's going to go back down to possibly go back up again. It will not stay up here indefinitely. Now let's just take a look at this on the monthly. Where are we? And also overextended. We're turning over here to maybe up a little and then maybe down. So the highest we've ever hit, the RSI, is there at 87. Not going to make it this time, I don't think. And then the lowest was right here. And where was price at this RSI level? Oh, I've already looked at this apparently a long time ago. And that would have taken us to 68.14. Can you imagine buying this at $68 and hanging on for dear life? That'd be pretty amazing. Let me move. This is what you do to move it. So I'm going to hit Command X on my Mac. Then I'm going to Command V to throw that in there. And while I'm here, I like to put price in at the end of the day if it's in the red. I used to only do it if it was lower than the previous, but I stopped doing that. I've changed my style over the years. 4.33. All right. So the lowest I looked at it was, for price anyway, it appears at, oh no. Here, I guess I did a video on it. I delete many of my videos, by the way. So this one I did on June 18th, 2022, and price was at 362. So that might be the lowest I've ever tracked it. On the monthly, let's move this over. So on the monthly, it looks like the upper band will take us to 646.56. And then to the south side, I know it's been marked out so many times, so it's hard to see, but maybe 585.16. And then the lower band, 525.16. Alrighty, now let's move on to Nvda. And I'm not gonna give this, I've done this so many times. I mean, oh my gosh, look at this. Forget it. I'm gonna put this back on the 5-minute time frame and let's start blazing through, because I have a few I want to go over. All right, your targets. 140.23, 141.58, and for Friday, don't hold your breath, 143.03. And if we make it to this level for some weird reason because of a wick, it will fall back down. And when it does, Tradingview will recalculate these lines. So if you sell out at 4 by the end, 4 standard deviations, by the end of the day, it could recalculate and then you're back at 2. So you have to watch this all the time, depending upon if you are day trading or scalping or doing short swing trades. That or you're setting it and forgetting it, but just be aware of that. Now to the south side, 134.55, 133.16, and highly unlikely 131.69. And I really need to go remove this because I can't see if there are gaps, and I never filled that out before I started to make this video. So this one is done. Got touched right there, so let's delete that. And what did I write here? Oh yes, Murat said that he was going to sell possibly a portion, 1/5 of his position at roughly 160. So fingers crossed that we get there sooner rather than later. But right now, we're slowly going down. But I don't know, maybe we could make our way and retrace back up to this level. That'd be lovely. And we do have gaps to the south side to be aware of. And if we continue south, we could get there. Oh, I'm gonna have to flip this over to show. Oh no, let's not do that. Let me just do this. Let's do this on the 1 hour. Yeah, never mind. It's just different buy and sell signals. It's just not going to work out. They don't show the date down here because it's too far out. But just keep that in mind. We could be heading into this range if we retrace. All right, and then some other ones. And do I need? Yeah, I need. No, that's done. That did not touch. That's why it's extended. All right, I think I cleaned up most of my chart. Okay, that looks good. The next one I want to go over is AMD. Trader Murat says for me to check out the RSI on the daily. He told me this. What was it? I never got a chance to make a video because I got busy and then I forgot. He told me this on, I thought it was the 5th, but maybe it was the 11th. Oh no, that's Wednesday. Sorry, he told me this on Wednesday. It's a different ticker. I'm thinking he messaged me about Ibit, the ETF that goes with Bitcoin. I'm going to go over that in a little bit. Okay, so this one, he mentioned this, that maybe it's time to check out the RSI on AMD because we've been in this together before, and I'll show you that in a moment. But first, while I'm here, ignore all these other lines. Yes, I should go through and delete them all, but I know what these lines mean, so I can't. So you have to trade your own book. You got to chart your own way. Make sure the method works for you because what works for you will not work for me and vice versa. Or I'd like to know what you do and maybe I will copy that too. That'd be great. Now to the north side, 132.31, 133.76, and 135.22. I'm just going to mark this out right here. So that's going to take us down to 129.22, and that's within the deviations I like to play, -2 and 2 standard deviations all day long. Price tends to stay within that and then also likes to hover around this middle of the trend, reverts back to this area before either going to the downside or going to the upside, but it has to pass through this middle each and every time to get to the north side or to the south side. All right. 126.25, 124.75, and not likely to get there in one day, 123.27. I should really just turn off that band. I should really just even turn off 3 and 4. That way you just keep it nice and simple. But that just kind of gives you an idea of where we could go at the end of the week if we continue to go in the same pattern, whatever that pattern may be that you're looking at. All right. Now let's go to before I do, it's been forever since I've looked at this. I sold some shares a while ago because I was sick of trading it. You just get bored with the tickers. That's the problem with looking at these every single day. You get bored. I get so bored of looking at my same tickers sometimes that I just want to sell out and trade something new. But really, when you do that, sometimes it comes back to bite you, but then other times you get out because you could sell it at a higher price and then get back in at a lower price. It just depends on what your strategy is or how much time you have to devote to this. Why do I have a red thing up here? That does not make sense. We gapped up. Oh, that's because I didn't clean it up. See, I can just tell something looks off and wonky. I need to unburden this right here by what has been. Thank the Lord. Kamala Harris, the cackling Kamala Harris, will not be around for the next 4 years. I could not take another 4 years of that. All right, so that closed to the downside at 154.06. It's the significance of the passage of time. Oh my God, I could just look at her comments and just get a good laugh. All right, this one closed. If I ever sound like that, Lord help me. 148.58. Sometimes I think I'm a dingbat, but I'm not that much of a dingbat. All right, ignore all those lines. Those are support and resistance lines. I used to put them in a different color, and then I switched it up, and I haven't deleted it because it's kind of fun to go back and see where we have been and where we are going. And what is this? This looks, yeah, look at this. I have not gone back to clean this up since August of 2024, this past summer. Okay, that is done. No longer a threat to our account to the south side. Did that touch? No. See how that fakes you out? It looks like it touched right there, but it didn't. That's why you've got to extend these things. Okay, that finished. That took us out to 151.83. Okay, that's done. All right, I'll clean this up later if I find some more. But what I want to do now is go to the daily, as Marat has suggested, and take a look at the RSI. What does the RSI tell you? All right, well, he talked about AMD. The RSI is turning down. So yeah, look at this. We've had opportunities to get back in. If you control, and that's what I used to do on a Sunday stock watch, which nobody watched, and I stopped doing it, but I did a gazillion of them, and that's how I would troll on the monthly time frame and find tickers to trade. This is drawn off of the monthly time frame, I believe, but these are all your opportunities to get in. And it's still low, but it started to run. See, this is the technical line here at 30 and below where it's oversold, meaning a discount. But I just use this as support and resistance. This is my ultimate support line. Going lower is even better on a good stock, of course. I'm not talking junky stuff. If you want to play conservatively, just track any big fund, any institution, BlackRock, Schwab, Fidelity. I mean, even the banks do it, Goldman, whatever, ticker, ETF you like. Break it down into a watch list and then just trade and watch those tickers. And that will help you. That way you avoid the junky stuff if you can't afford to lose money, because the stock market will whip you around. Just play conservatively if you don't know what you're doing or you're just trying to preserve your capital. The way I think of it sometimes, like, I don't need to buy something. It has to come to me, and then I will think about it. All right, so that looks good, but on the daily, I mean, looking good as in we are looking upward, possibly going back, but it's gonna go all over the place. Okay, this is the weekly. And the lowest we've gone on the weekly maybe appears to be right down here. Yep, I think so. So that's the weekly. And on the weekly, still going down. So I'm going to anticipate more movement to the south side, even though the daily tells you otherwise. This is why you have to look at the different time frames and play that time frame to keep your pattern kind of consistent. But look at this, still going down. And on the monthly, just for giggles, I marked out the lowest point. The lowest point, ignore all this stuff. I mean, it's been, all right, so the lowest the RSI has been in this range, and that was $1.32. That is nuts. And AMD's high was $227.30. Now, I still own this. Like I said, I did trade it because I was sick of looking at it, but that's my own fault because I just love to look at tickers. I can't help myself. Okay, so I still have shares that I bought at 73.88 and 76.45. I had some shares at 110.18 in the pink. That's where my shares are. Actually, I need to turn this. When I sell a share, I like to color code it the light pink. That way I know I've gotten rid of it. I forgot to do that with Tesla when I looked at it the other day. Okay, since I own this one still, this is in 73.88 and then 76. I never marked that one out. 76. 76.45. I'll just say, yeah, let's just mark that line. Did I do that right? Yeah, 76.45. Okay, there we go. So I bought here and here, and then I did buy previously. Oh, wait a minute. Here and here, I guess, but I don't own this anymore because I looked, so that's done. And I wasn't being consistent of charting everything. Now I've finessed my process a little bit more. So I never went back and did, this thing where it shows you what percentage you bought or percentage you went down. But now I've started to do that whenever I sell. But apparently, I don't think I did this one. Oh, wait a minute. No. Well, I bought something here. Oh, yeah. So with this, when I bought it at 110.18, it looks like what the heck? I don't know now. Got to do this. Anyway, I know that I've sold this before, but right there at 15%. But I have to figure out where I bought it and where I sold it. But this is the monthly. Let's just show you what's happening on the daily for the price target, and then I'm going to move on. But I should start deleting some of these support and resistance lines, as I mentioned. All right, 130.60 on the daily. So that will take us, well, one level is here, 161.24. There's a gap that starts at 153.09 and then it closes out at 165.78. And from a long time ago when I was charting this out, we've got a gap there, we've got a gap here and here, and that's it. The high, 227.30. What else was I going to do about this thing? I think that's it. Okay. Oh, I was going to tell you what the 1 year price target is. So 185.13, according to the analysts, based on 54 analysts. So thank you to Marat for pointing this one out again. Yes, I know it's run since we've looked at it, but sometimes even if you get in at a more expensive area, the potential to go up is great. At $250 is the target, the max. That's a 91% return. That's like, you go and buy a house. You bought the house 10 years ago for dirt cheap, and you can't buy that house today. So that same house, let's just say, costs you $450, but that $450 house in 10 years could turn into $800. Real estate apparently doubles every 10 years, I believe it is. And sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. But then you could have made from that point that you bought at $450 up to $800, even though it's more painful to shell out that kind of money. So it just depends what side of the line that you're buying and the target. Okay, so that is it. And then very quickly, I want to add 2 tickers to my, 3, NU. I gotta go. It's already late, my goodness. Okay. Here, I'm gonna add this to my stock watch list. Okay, so we're here at 131.41. Price targets 151.28, 181.15, 195.72, 211.01, 121.05, 106.47, and 90.12. Again, oh shoot, I just gave that to you on the daily. I'd say I don't see the gaps here, but just so you know, that's the daily time frame. Bigger picture. Here's the 5-minute. Let me just delete this and put it back. Here's the 5-minute. 134.95, 136.68, 138.32, 128.14, 126.37, and 124.67. That's going to go onto my stock watch list I'm creating. The next one is going to be CI. 282.96 is where we ended. Healthcare is taking a beating right now, which is why I'm interested in it. Again, this list I'm building out is going to be for 2025, and there is room to still go to the downside. Check out the monthly time frame. I'm only putting this on my watch list because it hit a 52-week low. It will probably go lower. Flip it over to the monthly, the weekly, the daily to give you those bigger picture time frames and help you decide, can it go lower or higher? 289.96, 293.40, 296.84 to the south side, 276.41, 273.01, 269.74, and the next one I want to go over really quick, ELV. Yes, this list is going to be healthcare heavy, but that's okay. Maybe I'll tweak it at the end, but I want to form a list first. And this one hit that low as well. So NUE hit that low as well, a 52-week low. So 379.99, 385.81, 388.81, 391.86, 374.04, 370.90, and 367.99. All right, so let me put this MCHP microchip. Trader Nate wanted me to build out a list, so that's what I'm gonna do. Number 7 will be NUE. This is December 12. Number 8 is gonna be CI. And then number 9 is going to be ELV. And oh my gosh, okay, I'm dragging this out, but I gotta do Ibit really fast. Ibit, I just remembered Ibit. All right, Murat sent me a message roughly, I think it was the 5th, and just said maybe it's time to possibly start buying Ibit, or at least he's looking at it closely. I'm sure he's looked at this before because of the run up with Bitcoin, but let me give you the targets for this one, and I'll start, oops, let me move that, start tracking this one a little bit more. I know that a lot of traders have been tracking this ticker, this ETF. So because I have never charted this one, that's the middle of the trend. I'm going to mark that out. 57.94, 59.78, 60.69, 61.68, 56.03, 55.11, 54.15. And let's take a look at this on the daily. There's a gap to the downside that will take us to, I guess I marked this one out. Maybe it's because I was looking at this ticker since he mentioned it. Yeah, I get sick of looking at the same ones I keep looking at, but if it's a new ticker, I do enjoy looking at it. Except for Palantir, I can look at that one a lot. I guess it just depends. I guess it depends on my mood. All right, 44.11 to the downside, so watch out for that. And because I'm doing Ibit, let's do BTCUSD, Bitcoin. And because this is a moving target, I'm going to give you the price targets on the daily. So here we are at 99.783. All right, so the window to the north side, 105.51. And then after that, 115.79. To the south side, 96.03, a gazillion different levels in between. But this right here, down to the middle line, will take us to 76.769. Not sure if we're going to retrace to this level anytime soon. Right now we're on a high. And on the daily, this is going in an upward channel as well. Okay, I'm done. Have a great trading day. Thank you so much for watching.